Hi, I'm James and thanks for tuning in to eBuyer. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at this 28-inch BenQ monitor. It's an Ultra HD 4K panel with the latest HDR support and a 60Hz refresh rate. We're going to cover off the unboxing, get the monitor built up onto the stand, and then try the monitor out to see what kind of viewing angles and colour reproduction we're able to get with this stunning HDR panel. Let's do this. Now inside of the box you'll find the monitor wrapped up in this polystyrene. You want to take out the included stand first of all, that's this thing here. You'll then also find an included HDMI cable, which is really handy to have in the box, allows you to get started straight away, your included quick start guide and warranty information, and then finally the base of the monitor itself, nicely packaged up, but more on that a little bit later. Let's remove the top foam panel, and then finally the actual monitor panel itself. Let's go ahead and lay out all of the separate bits on the table to build the monitor up, having moved all of our plastic and packaging material out of the way. When it comes to assembling this BenQ 28-inch panel, it's actually remarkably simple. In fact, I think it might be the easiest monitor I've ever built. Take the included black plastic monitor stand, and then the brushed aluminium finished base that you get with the panel. These are going to simply slot together with this included thumb screw screwing down, and that's going to secure the base into place. Push down the included kind of latch that you use to screw it in, and the stand is all good to go. You're then going to slide the monitor stand itself into the rear of the panel. You'll see there's this nice kind of springy screw. This comes into play a little bit later. And then with the completed base, you're going to slide this into the rear of the monitor and then simply tighten down the included screw release. Once you've done that, the panel's all good to go and we are moving. One of the best ways to test any monitor then is to jump into a couple of gaming titles. So I'm going to play a little bit of Dirt 5 first of all and see what kind of visual experience we're able to get. Testing out the HDR is something that I'm really intrigued as well, especially in a gaming environment. So let's see exactly what happens. Here we go in 3, in 2, in 1. Looking pretty good so far. Colours look nice. My gaming ability is not quite so good as the monitor's visual experience, unfortunately. Colours are actually really nice, feel quite realistic. The monitor feels responsive, and we are playing at 4K resolution here as well, which gives us that extra visual fidelity that's really allowing us to see the detail in the cars and in the landscape. Really sharp image. Of course, 4K as well, you get so many more pixels than at 1080p, which makes a huge difference. And, you know, visually, it looks absolutely awesome. Oftentimes, you have a decision to make as a gamer as to whether you want to play at a higher resolution with a lower refresh rate, or whether to go for a lower resolution and then a higher refresh rate. For a game like this, I think the 4K visual fidelity is a much better option, personally, because frame rate's just not quite as important for racing games. With that being said, you still get 60Hz on this monitor, so you're able to see 60 FPS plus in all of those titles, which is always great to see. Make sure as well, of course, that if you're gaming on this BenQ monitor, that you've got a powerful system that can deliver 60 frames a second or above at that high 4K resolution. HDR in this scene really paying dividends, where you've got a really bright part of the image and then a much darker part inside the tunnel. Visually though, Dirt looks great, even if my driving abilities are not quite up to scratch this afternoon. The next game I'm going to try out at glorious 4K resolution is a little bit of Microsoft Flight Sim. We're flying out of the very glamorous Birmingham, so make sure to drop a like rating on this video if you're from Birmingham watching. The game though is looking really quite incredible. This 4K resolution is going to be super useful when it comes to seeing real close details in cityscapes and landscapes. And you can see just how gorgeous this image actually looks on the 4K BenQ monitor. Once again, the HDR element here comes into play when you've got the sun and the lens flares and the sky. It really does make a massive difference. And visually, I think you can see, it just looks awesome. There's probably not too many games that are better at showcasing high resolution than something like Microsoft Flight Sim, because at this point of altitude, everything just turns into a grid. So being able to differentiate between roads and houses this high up is quite an achievement. Once again, this is a game that any day of the week I'd take high resolution over anything else. HDR, of course, is also going to have a huge bearing in a game like this, where you've got a bright skyline, you've got details in your cityscape, and then you've got the actual aeroplane itself. Either way though, the game, it looks absolutely incredible once again. I didn't really expect anything less, but I mean, look at it. It's just awesome, absolutely awesome. The third and final title we're going to try out on our BenQ monitor is a little bit of CSGO, nicely done, to prove that this panel is far from a one-trick pony. It's not just games with high resolutions and lower frame rates that this panel excels, but even games like CSGO, which visually looks incredible, work wow on this 60Hz monitor. Whether you're looking to play the latest AAA titles at maximum frame rates, or just take advantage of the glorious 4K resolution and HDR panel, BenQ's 28-inch monitor has got you covered. It feels super immersive, it feels super sharp, and of course HDR is a massive upside. No! Oh god, there's too many of them. No. Oh, I died. And I think on that note, that just about wraps it up for our gaming session on this BenQ panel. It looks great, but my gaming performance in CSGO particularly maybe does need a little bit of improvement. And with that, that just about wraps it up for our first look, overview, and quick gaming session on BenQ's 28-inch 4K HDR monitor. Thank you very much for tuning in, and as always, we hope to see you again soon here at eBuyer.